this is the ending story of The Wicked Cat. And I hope you guys are listening. Now, remember I told you my cousin, she was born to do what she was doing. And she would always be after me for some reason. And she would say, I was born to get you. I'm going to get you. She actually started saying that when she was 5. She used to say that to me every day. Me not understanding what it was, evil and good, like she understood, I had to learn. So here's the ending of that story about the wicked cat. So one day my grandmother left, her and my grandfather. They went to the dog track. And if you're from the South, you know what the dog track is. And they left me there with my cousin. My cousin, she was about 26. And she'd be on that phone just gossiping. So, and we were in the back room with my other cousin. The one who I said was born to do what she do. She was born to speak languages she speak. It's serious business, you guys. And my whole family could tell you up until this day, we don't mess with her like that. But let's go on. So we were in the room and she had that cat with her. And we had came from Chicago. My grandmother had came from Chicago because they had like the holy convocations, and she would always have prayer in her house, her and my auntie, and prayer questions service. And they had this older white lady who was their friend. She was actually like 103. She was really old. But the interesting thing is what you saw when you went in her house. And she wouldn't let nobody come in her house. It was very few people, not more than 7 people she would let come in her house. And she would specifically pick why she only let those type of people come in her house. They had to really have real gifts of God. And she knew. So your title couldn't trick her, because she was old enough to know the difference, to see the difference without you saying anything, because she had lived that long. So that's wisdom. Some people get it when they're younger. Some people get it when they're older. Some people don't get it at all. So we know that about people. So anyway, so we had came back from there. When I came back from them all praying around me, they didn't lay hands on me. They were just, saying prayers over me. And we came back, and I was back home in the South for that summer with my cousins. And my cousin, she was up on that phone gossiping. She just liked a bunch of boys. She always did. So anyway, we was back there, and my other cousin and her cat was back there. And I had a twin sister, and we both was born with heart problems. But hers got worse than mine, so she was on the bed. So I was sitting beside her. When I sat beside her, she said, go get that Bible. And I would go get that Bible, and she say, open it. And I would open it. And she would say, don't say nothing. Just talk to God to yourself. And I would talk to God to myself. And she said, every time you open it, it gives me days and months and weeks and minutes and hours and seconds to live. She said, because there's nothing the doctor can do to keep me alive. And then she said, I'm going to give you energy and vibrations to live, but I'm going to pass away because we were both born with the same condition. But I am the weaker. I am the weaker one. She was talking about me. And she's the stronger one. So she said, I'm going to give you energy and vibration so you can live. And I said, okay, but I don't want you to die. And she said, it was meant for me to pass away. Don't be sad. I know we only 13. But I'm tired of them doctors. I'm tired of the needles. I'm tired of seeing them, the different nurses. And I don't want to see nobody no more. And I understand the difference between life and death. And when I tell you not to bring that Bible and that scent, that godly scent around me anymore, that's when I'm going to leave away from here. So my cousin and the wicked cat, they was watching. us. So when I took the herbs and the flowers, rose petals, and put it on top of her head and on her body, my cousin and the wicked cat looked, and the cat attacked me and it scratched me across the face. So I had scratches across my face like that. And then it scratched me again across the arm and the back. And my cousin, she was looking like, I told you I was going to get you. And I said to her, I said, why are you so evil? Why do you hate me? I've done nothing to you. And she said, you going to figure it out one day. So my twin sister, who was very ill because she had heart problems, she got up because her gift was speaking in diversity of tongues. Mine was the interpretation of tongues. We both got saved when we were 6 years old. And not like you guys, or they sprinkled and said prayers over us. They didn't touch us. They said prayers over us. And the person that prayed over us when we were sick was so, when we were 6 years old, was so anointing. They didn't have to touch nobody. They didn't. They didn't have to touch nobody, and they didn't have to talk to you. That's a real anointing. That person never touched anyone under any circumstances. They didn't talk to you either, but you were able to get delivered. So I don't think there's nobody born like that anymore, but this was like when I was 6, and it was a part of Illinois that we went to with my grandmother and my auntie. But that person prayed over us, never touched us, like I said. So that's when we were 6, we got saved together, me and my twin sister. But going back to the story, so my twin sister, she had the gift of diversity of tongues, and mine was the interpretation of tongues. So after the cat scratched me across the face, my face started bleeding. And then it scratched me across the arm, and my arm started bleeding, and my back started bleeding. This time it was the other side. Like I said, and my twin sister was laying on the bed. She had heart problems. She got up and she went towards the cat and started speaking in tongues. And the cat didn't move. And when his eyes started changing colors, she talked in a different type of tongues. And it stopped. And then when she pointed at it and talked in tongues, it died. It didn't move no more. It died. And it was completely stiff, frozen stiff. And so after that, you could hear something walking out the door. And my cousin Peanut, and my cousin that was gossiping on the phone with that big old mouth of hers, she just never got off that phone. She put the phone down and screamed. And Peanut opened the door. So the spirit, whatever it was, it went out. But the cat was dead. And my sister, she laid back on the bed. We was only 13, you guys. And my cousin started crying. And when she started crying, my sister sat up on the bed and started speaking in tongues at her. And she looked at her. And she said, I dare you. And after that, my cousin, she walked out. And whatever it was that was around her walked out with her. You could hear it. And my sister said, don't worry about her. God's going to take care of you as long as you live. And so she laid back down. She said, in 6 months' time, and on the 7th month and the 7th day, I'm going to pass away. But I want you to know I love you. And I want you to know I said a special prayer for you in tongues that only person knows between me and God. And nobody can understand it. Because some things are kept secret with God. So after that, my cousin went to her father's house in California for a while. And I didn't see her for a long time. And I took the herbs from the Bible and I placed them across my face. And I took the other herbs and I rubbed it where the cat scratched me on the arm. And Peanut, he put the other herbs on my back. And in a couple of hours, it was gone. After that, I left the Bible open so that it could give me life and it could give me the glory of God. Because this Bible wasn't no ordinary Bible. And still to this day, I don't know where it came from. But after that, I didn't have no more problems with my cousin. And the cat was now dead. And my cousin said to me, Peanut, we have to burn this cat outside somewhere. Not in our yard, but in somebody else's yard where they burn stuff. Because they had a special place where you could burn stuff. So my cousin that was 20 something, that was always gossiping, she put on some gloves and she put the cat in a bag. And she called my uncle to come and get the cat, to take him to where they can burn the cat at, with the fire, where they burn stuff at, where it was legal. So it was me, my sister who had the heart problems, Peanut, and my gossiping older cousin that don't never stop gossiping, and my uncle. We all got in the car together. And he picked up this lady who was my grandmother's friend who had prayer meeting. But he picked up this other lady too. She did a lot of witchcraft and whatever. But she didn't do it to us, but people went to her. But he picked her up too. So we all went to this place where you can legally burn stuff. And she said, nobody touched that cat. And she said, everybody back up. And we all backed up. And the lady said the prayer. She said, you go first and say the prayer. And she said the prayer. And then the lady that did a lot of, evil stuff, a lot of witchcraft, she told the lady who prays a lot and that had an anointing, she said, now pray for me because I don't want it to come after me. So after she prayed for the lady and she prayed for all of us and she said a prayer, there was like a white man that was there. He was over the place where you could burn stuff legally. And he burnt the cat. And he put it in the fire. But he ran, the white guy did. And when he ran, after they burnt the cat, you could see this, the spirits coming up from the cat after they burnt the body and stuff. So when he was finished burning the cat and stuff, the white guy, he came back to us. He said, I've seen stuff like this a lot. And I think he was like 70 something. And he said, but some people don't seem to understand the spiritual part of life. And they do things without the knowledge of the spiritual side, not knowing that spiritually it could affect you for the rest of your life, the things that you do. And there's just certain things you don't play with. And then he said, however, because my cousin was born the way she was born. But the lady that did a lot of witchcraft, she said to the lady who prayed, she said, pray for me that God delivered me because I don't know why I'm this way. But I became this way after a woman had fixed her father or something like that. And she wanted to pay the woman back. But she wanted to be forgiven by God. So after that, we all got in the car. And the white man gave me this prayer. And he gave me this bag of stuff. And he gave me another little book. And in this book, it had different kind of stuff that you can, like if you didn't want to have a baby, it was some stuff that you could put between your legs. You won't have a baby. But the only thing about it was it made you sterile. You couldn't, it would keep you from catching any kind of sexual bacteria or infection. Even AIDS, I can't even say what it is because I don't want no problems or whatever. But it actually worked. So he put it in a book, and it was like this powder-like stuff. And then it was another powder-like stuff that he put in a book. And it was for different things that you could put down and keep snakes away. Then it was another like flour-like substance, and it did something else. But it was 7 different things. They all did something different. When we got back to the house, My cousin, the one that gossiped so much, because she liked it, a whole bunch of guys. She took the particular one that kept you from having children. And it kept you from catching any kind of different bacterial infections, even herpes and stuff. This is how powerful this was. And she kept it and she used it. She never did have any children for 20 years until somebody prayed for her. And this is the end of the story. And I hope you were entertained, because it's for entertainment purposes only, even though it's true. So, I don't believe in Halloween or the things in Halloween, but I wanted to do this for social network and entertainment purposes only. So, happy October. And always say a prayer. Keep the Lord on your mind all the time. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only, although it's a true story. Bye-bye, TikTok.